Hi friends, recently I got asked to give a talk about the work that I do and why I do it and what I would change about the places that I do that work. And hey, maybe more of us should try to summarize our work and values and dreams in 5 minutes or less because we might understand ourselves and our goals a bit better. At least I did. So here, adapted for the audience of you, let's build a city. My name is Taylor, and on this channel, ItsRadishTime, I try to build civic imagination. But like many creators, I've had about a dozen different jobs. I've worked in digital communication for a bunch of nonprofit and advocacy organizations, and I currently write educational content for lots of other creators in addition to my own channel. All that to say, I've made my career out of picking apart the systems that I live in to see how they work, and then trying to put them back together better. It's how I show love to the places I live. And one of those places is the social internet. I've made friends on YouTube and Tumblr and Twitter. Nearly every full-time job I've ever had, I've gotten as a result of my channel. The social internet is how I came to realize that I'm queer. I even met my partner in the comments of our respective YouTube videos. The social internet feels like home to me. It's a place that I live as much as Brooklyn is. I love it here, and I want to show it by picking it apart together with you. So, let's build a city. Civic imagination, the concept at the center of my channel, starts with one question. What would it take to make the future desirable? That's a question that we're really bad at answering. Whether it's because of climate change or political strife, many of us can't imagine a future that's desirable, and some of us can't imagine a future at all. There's this feeling of inevitability, that certain things are going to happen because some outside force is going to make it that way. Here in New York, it may feel inevitable that the roads will be stuck with traffic, or that we're never going to elect a mayor that anybody likes, or that the rats are always going to run this city. But the social internet has its inevitabilities too. Like, we're a bunch of corporations, so we have to turn a profit every quarter by any means necessary. Or maybe that there's always going to be hate and harassment on these platforms. Or that everybody wants short-form videos, so we've got to go all in on short-form video. Feel free to substitute short form for AI or whatever the metaverse is supposed to be. But I've got to be fair, I'll expose my own inevitabilities, like that these platforms are really pushing short form video, so I guess I've got to make short form video now. Or that when I watch a lot of short form video as a viewer, I feel my attention splintering and my anxiety ramping up. And so making short form video is going to make me just as miserable. And if you enjoy spending your time on these platforms, or especially if you build these platforms, that might not be fun for you to hear. You might be queuing up counter arguments in your head saying, no, you don't get it at all. This is gonna change the world, and if you don't get on board, you're gonna get left behind. But imagine me doing the same with your inevitabilities. I might think that you have an entirely wrong-headed view of the world and that history will not be kind to you, that it's inevitable that your project will or must fail. Do you feel the tension there? Because we're all here trying to build a city together. So, let's go back to a city example. It's like we're standing on opposite sides of the street, watching cars rush down the middle, saying, there's no way I can cross to your side, there's no way you can cross to mine, because there's all these cars in the middle, and we can't get rid of cars, we've always had cars. The way to get over or under or around inevitability, that's civic imagination. It's a skill. It takes practice. It takes asking the question over and over. What would it take to make the future desirable? Not what would it take to make the future less bad, not what would it take to make the future profitable, but what would it take to make the future desirable? One where we all win, one that's better than what we have now, a future that works for all of us, a future that we yearn for so much that we're willing to do everything we can to build it. It might be hard to imagine how good things could actually be. So let's build a city. Maybe one that looks like this. This is New York, summer of 2020. COVID is raging, businesses are closed, people are out of work. You remember this, we weren't having a good time. But enough people thought, okay, surely things can get better than this. What would it take to make life desirable right now? Well, we'd want outdoor space, we'd want places where kids could play, where we could eat at local restaurants, support local businesses, where we could socialize with our friends and neighbors safely, where we could feel joy and community and togetherness after being isolated for so long. That would be desirable. So you imagine what would be desirable, and then you ask, what would it take to make that real? Well, in this case, it more or less took 2 barricades, one at either end of the street. It wasn't ripping up the pavement or banning cars forever or even electing an entirely new city council to pass a certain law. You can do all of those things, sure, but in this case, it was mostly a couple of pieces of wood. And look how much our vision of what a neighborhood could look like, how we interact with each other, how businesses thrive, how connected we are to the place where we live can change. Getting over our politic of inevitability and developing a civic imagination requires us to get rid of our certainties about what's going to happen, our insistence that we are not in power, that these systems are so much bigger than us, and our individual actions don't matter. They're not all that matter, sure, but we have an immense amount of power to work collectively to build our city and to shape our world. So I'll ask you, if you're feeling like you're being dragged along by the moving traffic of a giant tech enterprise or a massive media machine, throw up the barricade. Ask yourself regularly, not what you need to do to stay relevant or hit your metrics or whatever deliverables you have to complete, but what would it take to make the future desirable? And then what can you do to help us get there? In comments, let's start small. What's one thing that you would bring into our city to make it better? What's the barricade or the bike lane or the public library or the waste management department of the social internet? Where's one place we could start to make this place better for all of us? What would it take to make the future of the social internet desirable? This video is made possible by the Radish Collective, my community of patrons. You can join them in helping me make more of these videos at patreon.com/ItsRadishTime. I'll see you soon. Bye.